I had some crazy experiences over the weekend that I really just wanted to share with you. I've been going through a Kundalini awakening ever since, well, really 2022, my Kundalini started stirring, even though I didn't really know what it was at the time. And then in about April 2023 is when everything kicked off. And honestly, 2023 was a wild year. It was highly traumatic, I won't lie. It was very painful and I just went through a lot. 2024 was really a year of healing and recalibrating and coming back to myself and basically processing and integrating all of these things that were happening. For those of you who are not really aware of what Kundalini is and what happens in an awakening, basically the Kundalini energy is depicted as a serpent. It's coiled 3 times at the root chakra, which is around your hips. And then basically through a Kundalini awakening, Kundalini will start to stir. So that's like the first step, when you might feel your body shaking and experience some different symptoms like random mudras or different spiritual downloads or kind of crazy experiences happening. And then for me, when Kundalini really hit full on, it was a spontaneous Kundalini awakening that felt like basically like I'd been like a lightning bolt, in the head, and energy just kind of, it was like a massive migraine essentially. So from my root chakra, energy just went zoom straight up to my brain, and I ended up being in a migraine for like 4 days. I couldn't see, couldn't function, couldn't do anything. That was April 2023. And then it just was a cascade, like a shattering of everything that I knew in 2023. And then 2024 was figuring out what the hell had actually even happened, and then healing myself on all levels. So it's like past life level, emotions, this lifetime, all of my fears, everything that's kind of caused a negative or traumatic imprint has been really revealed to me to work through. On the spiritual side, I've had a lot of downloads. My spiritual capabilities and capacity has like immensely activated. I'm starting to channel different beings, light language, all sorts of different things. All of this coincided, by the way, with Seishan Reiki. So I had a healing in 2022 from a lady who gave me a Reiki healing, but she was Seishan master, and she gave me a Seishan invocation essentially. And so I was using that invocation, and I didn't realize it at the time how linked Kundalini and Seishan really were. In fact, I didn't really even know what Kundalini was. I'd heard of it, of course. I knew a little bit about it, but it's not like I went looking for it, that's for sure. So it's really interesting because then, of course, all the physical destruction of the physical body, it really was the most painful experience you can ever imagine, and not just a moment in time. I think people think Kundalini is like, oh, I had a Kundalini awakening that lasted for a couple of hours. That's not a Kundalini awakening. That's like just a one moment. But Kundalini, when she awakens, it's kind of like getting pregnant in a way. Like the baby's coming. You can't put it back. It's not just one day of being pregnant. It's like, imagine the 9 months of gestation as literally like your entire lifetime. So Kundalini, the awakening process is ongoing. There is no end. So it's just like, once the train has left the station, that's it. There's no turning back. So I think that it's been really interesting because in the beginning, I really wanted there to be an end. I wanted it to be done. I wanted to, I was over it. It just was so painful, so confusing, so overwhelming. I didn't know who to go to for support. It just was a lot, like more than I can ever express in words. But now that I know a little bit more about it, I've done my research, I've talked to some people, I've gotten some coaching around it, I really sat in my own stuff, I've worked through a lot, I found amazing healers that have been so unbelievably helpful. I honestly don't know what I would have done without them. And now the waves of Kundalini, which is kind of what I call them, so every now and again there'll be like a whoosh, like a wave of Kundalini where she starts to activate, and like I'll feel her energy stir in my body, and then there'll be like a whoosh of energy. I will always know because I've kind of realized the pattern now. Anytime there is a strong energetic event, like for example the calendar new year, the Chinese new year, and then of course the equinox, which is over the weekend just passed, that is when Kundalini seems to really flare up and I get a wave of Kundalini happening. I think partly it's because the energy is very strong at that time. So in the global energetics, there's a lot of movement. Also because like everyone, all the people in the world are celebrating this particular event. And so there is a lot of human focus, which is like energy, right? Mental energy, thoughts, emotions on that event, which is contributing to the collective. So we are all feeling different things at those times. And the people that are more sensitive will feel it a little bit more as well. So This brings me to equinox. Over the weekend, I didn't really think about it because March has had so many huge astrological events with lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, equinox. We've had retrogrades, all the things. The starting of Aries season, obviously the day after equinox as well. So it really was like a massively heightened energetic moment. And because the equinox, which is the start of the energetic new year, the start of Aries season, sits exactly in between the two eclipses, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. So it's exactly the middle point. It's a point of heightened energy. And sure enough, I got another wave of Kundalini. My root chakra becomes hyperactive. Like the energy there is really strong. And I feel it because I start seeing snakes everywhere. That's that's the main clue. Plus my root chakra, I really feel that strongly activated. I started seeing snakes everywhere and I was like, okay. And then on Friday, I set in self-Reiki and meditation and I had download after download after download, spiritual downloads coming in. And it was about me personally. Some of the fears that I've been working through, I was like, holy moly, like this is a lot. Like this is realizations and of course like so many tears. And then interestingly on Saturday I had a full day of clients or whatever, and I actually had a client message me on Saturday night with an image. So she had actually got a visitation. This might be a little bit out there for some people, but she had a visitation from an extraterrestrial, I'll just say it. So in my world I call them like beings or star seeds, and she had an image because there were some light codes on her bathroom mirror. And like, it's really interesting because, I mean, I love this. I love hearing about it. It's totally up my alley. And just a side note, if any of you experience any of these things, you are more than welcome to contact me. There's never any judgment and I come fully with an open mind. But it's interesting because it was also on the equinox. And I had also been experiencing this Kundalini wave, which is also coincided because I'm running my first HF Reiki workshop this coming weekend, actually. So then on the Saturday night, after seeing this image, it activated something in me as well. And it was interesting because I was meeting a friend of mine for a coffee on the Sunday morning. She's a Reiki healer as well, a Reiki master. And I thought, you know what, it would be really amazing if we could do a 3-way Reiki, 2 healers on 1 participant, because it's something I teach in my Reiki 1s if we have an odd number of people, but I've never experienced having 2 people Reiki me at the same time, not for a decent Reiki session. So anyway, overnight, we organised it. So we had 3 of us, including myself, on Sunday morning just passed, and they both arrived at 9 a.m. And I thought, we'll just do 20 minutes each. 5 hours later, I was like, oh my God, this is a big session. We just talked and talked. And what happened was I was Reikiing one of them. So there's 2 of us on one client, or one of the other girls, and I turned into a snake. So in my mind's eye, I was like, oh, I've had this experience before. I had it way back when Kundalini first kicked up, and I had this insane experience with one of my other Reiki healers at the time. And I turned into a snake there. There was a bonfire. There were, all sorts of deities coming in. It was wild. I was a medicine man. It just was insane. And I actually wrote a blog on it. And I think I did a post on it. So I'll link that somewhere. Anyway, this time round, I turned into a snake. It was like I was a cobra. I was kind of moving, and I was very aware that I was with other people. So I didn't explicitly verbalize anything out loud, but in my mind, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Like I was hissing. It felt like I had the world's longest tongue, and I was hissing and speaking something, saying something, and then all of a sudden I started channeling light. Oh, it's coming through again. Started channeling light language. So this is my light language. I can do it with the left hand as well, but weirdly I can't do it with both hands at the same time. So light language is an energy, a language coming through from the star seeds, which is, some people call it extraterrestrials, other people call it star seeds, we can call it beings, whatever you want to call it. But essentially this has been happening really since Kundalini and really since Seishem for me, so a few years ago. But it's kicked up a notch, that's for sure. Anytime there is a strong Kundalini wave, then I feel like this light language comes through strongly as well. I just wanted to share because I think on strong energetic events, there is a lot that can come through, and this is totally distracting me. I can't even think properly. My gosh. I was doing self-Reiki this morning and I was channeling light language as well. And it was basically working down through my chakras. in this Reiki healing on the Sunday, I saw myself as the tree of life. So I literally was like a trunk, and then I was growing branches and leaves out of my crown and rooting down, right down through the soles of my feet into the earth. I had like this massive snake in my mind's eye. It looked like it was tattooed on my body, but it was me. And then I've noticed that when I see energy, or when I read a client's energy field or aura, sometimes if I'm in that trance state, they will actually reflect my own energy back to me. Normally my body will reflect and mirror the client, but in that case it was the other way around. And it's like I saw a snake on this person's mouth or in her throat, and it was like I was pulling this snake out of her throat, but it wasn't hers, it was me, and the snake was energy, and it basically just cycled back around. And that's essentially what Kundalini is. It's our superpower, it's our personal power, it's the part of us that connects us to the universe as a whole. Oh my gosh, please. Okay, I need to stop because I can't concentrate. Okay. Oh, I don't even know what's coming through, but it's coming through so strongly. Oh my gosh. So then last night I woke up at like 11:30 midnight, and I'd been asleep, I don't know, a couple of hours or something, but I woke up from this insane dream. So since the weekend, I've been having this crazy experiences where I would like blink and my body, it was like I was walking through one of those mirrors that distorts your body, and it felt like I had jumped a timeline. That's essentially what it felt like. It felt like I had disappeared and come back again on a different time frame, a different timeline, different energy, vibration, different dimensions, something like that. It's the weirdest thing. Like if anyone has read Harry Potter, it feels like I apparated and then came back again. That's like the only way I can describe it. I'm like, okay. And it happened so many times. It was weird. Even on Tuesday night, it happened again. I went to the comedy with my dad and I was standing in the line, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, what just happened? Like it felt like a gust of wind, but nothing moved. It was me. So that was pretty crazy. And then I've had in my mind for the last few days, really since the weekend, this idea of teleportation. And I could not get it out of my head. It's been crazy. I kept thinking I'm teleporting. I would really love to teleport. And all these thoughts were coming in, and I'm like, I don't know where they're coming from. This is really freaking weird. So to recap, Kundalini wave, crazy spiritual downloads, obviously channeling light language that is still going. I had teleportation in my mind, and I feel like I was disappearing and appearing again, but in like so fast that no one would be able to notice, you know, like super fast. And then last night I woke up from this dream and I was like, oh my God, what was that? And in my mind, I knew that it was timeline jumping, because it was like I launched off one foot, like boing, and then I went flying through a corridor, but it was me, like I was seeing it through my eyes, boing, like through a long corridor. Oh, light language is going crazy. And then I would land in a place, and then I would bounce off my foot and boing, like all the way back to another spot. And it was like doing. But it was in this corridor of light, like so much light. I can't explain it. The corridor was dark, but the light was huge. And yeah, it just was so confusing. I just didn't know where I was. I didn't know if I was here or there or wherever. And when I woke up, I was like, like, oh my God. Like, and I kind of knew, I knew what that was, but I didn't want to go back to sleep after that, because I was like, that was really intense. And it was very disorientating. That's probably the best word for it. So I took a little while just to calm down and did something else. This was like midnight last night. And then eventually I did go back to sleep. And then when I woke up this morning and channeled Reiki for myself, because I felt like my crown and my third eye were so open, of course, the light language was coming through. So it's still going. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I just know I just need to surrender and kind of let it go through. And actually I'm being told now that this is not for me. This is for anyone that is watching the video. This is going to help you recalibrate your own timelines, your own frequency, and recalibrate the highest timeline for your highest good and for the highest good of everyone around you as well. So this is actually light language for you, not for me, because I did mine this morning. And this light language is helping you now to recalibrate to the frequency of your highest good, the highest timeline. So if you choose to accept this, then all you need to do is say yes. You can say that in your mind or out loud. Just say, yes, I accept. And this light language will help you. It won't help you if you don't want it, of course. You always have free will and you always get to choose. Yeah. Okay, we're coming to an end. Ooh, okay, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, well, if you need any support, please reach out. I'm always here. If you have any questions, DM me. I love questions. I will always respond. If you have a question about light language, starseeds, or anything that happened just then, timeline jumping, quantum leaping, message me and I can do another video on that as well. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you do feel quite sensitive or even like really tired, nauseous, or feeling a bit funny in the gut, don't worry. Just drink lots of water, rest as much as you can, get out into nature. That will help as well. Get some sunshine onto your face. And if you do need extra support, reach out. I am here for you, and have a wonderful day.